Hey everybody. So yeah, yesterday's session didn't go well. I tried to just sort of lift and shift all of the update light code the 3JS from 3JS to um, a light service, and that couldn't. It just didn't work. So now I'm in a position where I need to figure out how to take this code that didn't just easily lift and shift over and tease out the pieces so that I can. And it's probably going to be like a two-pronged approach. First, I probably need to make more functions in the 3JS service to handle things. And then I need to move some code out into the service and just sort of experiment from there. And it is going to be time consuming. And in like a professional environment, in this sort of stage, it would be difficult to justify that because this is a proof of concept. So, most places would say, hey, we're going to rewrite this anyways. Don't worry about it. It's just a proof of concept. Just go with it. But I'm hoping to be able to reuse this code for my next stage of the MVP side of things. So, anyways, with that said, um, I think, we kind of have to be careful now, unfortunately, since we can't just lift and shift everything. But it seems like I can call this sort of publish code after this animation code, and I can get all this animation code together. And this is going to be a bit time consuming because I'm going to need to test things pretty regularly. Um, and there's a lot of steps to setting up a light just to make sure that it works. So basically, I just want to make sure that this stuff works. Negative -2, and then set it to 100. Oh my gosh, I put O's in 100 and 100, and move this thing over to a Fong, and then let's add a light. Add the light. Um, Looks good. I can't see why this wouldn't work. Let's go ahead and I guess make it a Z position of 4, and then let's make it animated. Yeah, so as you can see, it is working. So now that I have this animation stuff kind of together, or this publish stuff away from the animation stuff, I guess I could say publish lights. So let's just, and this doesn't need anything, and it doesn't need to return anything. And I really don't like coding in this view here. So I'm going to switch it out, and I'm going to go like that. And basically, I'm just going to copy these two lines of code over. And I'm just going to say this dot publish lights. And we will basically do the same thing again. Just make sure everything seems to work still. Um, I think this will be, we don't have to do as much this time because we just want to make sure that the publish of lights works. So um, we don't even need to change the size. We'll just change that to a Fong, turn on the light, add the light. Yeah, publishing definitely seems to be working. It would not have been able to update. Show edit form to, yeah. So that's working. So that's good. And that doesn't surprise me. And now I think I want to try to pull this animation. So this is definitely code that will stay in the 3GS service. And then I believe this would also stay. So this is animation. So process animations for lights. Right, and this is not going to return anything, but it will accept a light interface. And since I call it light item in that code, ooh, oh, I need the light item and the light. So I want the light item, which is of type light interface and light, which is of type, what is it? Supported lights. And it's a void, and go ahead and add these two things. And let's just copy this code over. And Control V, and say this. Okay, that's weird. This dot process. Animations for lights, and we will send over the light item. Oh, you are not playing nice. Light item and the light. And then that should work. Okay, so basically we're probably just going to want to test this to animate it and unanimate it. So let's go ahead and make this a -2 and make it interact with light by turning it into a Phong. Create a light. Set its position to 2. Turn the animation on, so that it's by default will go like from 2 to 0. So basically it's kind of getting closer, and you can kind of see that there's animation going on. It's unanimated, everything's still working. Okay, so that's good. All right, so now I think these next things are all things that I want, at least from here to here, that I want to be able to do inside of the light. Let's see, is there anything else? But I don't know. Okay, yeah, so I should be able to pass. Okay, so I'm going to create an update light that accepts a light item in the light service. So I'm just going to say update. Let's see. Somehow I turned the caps on. Okay. Update light. Is that what that thing was called? Update light item void. So, and this is going to be a light interface. Okay, so now let's go ahead and close this spec up. I have no idea why I would have that open. And let's go ahead and copy this stuff over, and we'll just check to make sure the color's still, oh, interesting. See, we need the light as well. Okay, so I'm going to pass in the light. Hopefully I don't have to do that by the end of this, but for now, I'm going to pass in the light, and then this is a supported light. And we're going to copy these two over. We're going to say this dot light service dot update light, and it takes a light item and oops, light item and the light. I see the light, and we will come back over here into the service, do that, pass in this stuff. It should be fine because we're passing by reference, not by value. So basically this light item and this light are point to the same address that this light item and this light. So if I do anything, if I do any operations on that, it will be fine. It'll do that just fine. So it'll update the same one. Okay, so here's where we run into problems. That's where I add the scene, a spotlight to the target of the spotlight to the scene. But anyway, so let's just make sure this works. And the way I would check that out is take this guy, show the edit form, make it a Fong material. Go ahead and add a light. I shouldn't be able to see it because it's sitting in the middle of the thing. 2, and let's change the color. Oh no, so that did not work. Light service. Oh, well, that's wild. It's wild that it compiled. Maybe I saved it while I had one. Okay, let's try that again. Let's make this -2. Turn it into a Fong material. Go ahead and add our light. Edit. Okay. I was going to say cross your fingers, and that works. All right, so that's good. Now, here is the thing. Okay, so we know the light item. When do we have a light? Okay, so add light. Here's where we get the light. Okay, so I should be able to... I wonder if I can move this code, if I can copy this code over to light service. I should be able to do this. And then not do this anymore. And then that's this thing. Okay, I wonder what its problem is. Okay, as supported. All right, so now I'm saying, trust me, it'll be there. And I'm actually not 100% sure, but so now what I want to do is come in here and get rid of this light and see if things still work at this point. Add mesh, show edit, -2, Fong it, I Fong you, light, add the light, edit it, change the color. Okay, so that's still working. It just found it. So does it matter? Okay, so this only, okay, so this happens. So, okay, so what we do is we create a light. If it doesn't have a target ID. So that's, so yeah, so this is the crux of our problem, I think. All right, so we set these things only if it's that. So I think what we want to do here is, what do I need to know? I need to know the light item. I need to know the spotlight. Okay, so I want to take these 2 lines of code and create a function that say add. I'm really just taking like just moving on pure instinct here. Okay, so add, no, attach spotlight. Target. Okay, so that is going to be his job, is to attach it right here. Okay, so first of all, I need, what do I need? I do need the light item, the spotlight. Okay, so yeah, let's just make that the first one. Spotlight as spotlight, and light item as light interface. And then remove this. And say this. And I take the spotlight, and I take the and I take the light item, and I send that there. Okay. Now, okay, so to test this, I really do need to make a spotlight and then change its target. So add mesh, show edit, -2, add width of 100, height of 100, basic fong. Should I make that -2? Yeah. Light, add light. Spotlight position is 2. Here's where we'll find out. Okay, so that worked. And now we want to, okay, so it defaults to 0. So X target 1. Okay, so that is working. Okay, so that's good. So this works. Now the question is should I bring this if light item target ID if it doesn't have a target ID? Should I bring that over? Okay, okay, so there's nothing happening. See, this is garbage code, right? This is code that I do not want to be around. This is code that I don't want to wear. This target light item, target ID, yeah, that's all. This is all garbage code. This is all code that I don't really want to be building on. Okay, so what I'm wondering is if I should just always call the attach light and move that if into this down here, because that might make sense to move that down there. Yeah, I think I will, because this is also code that I don't really want to do in the future. And I don't know, I've mentioned before, but basically I think that I I just want a larger I want to handle grouping as a general as a general thing. And this the way I did this is I um, have uh, I just throw it on there, and that's only because I don't want to build the whole groupings concept right now. I'm actually grateful this happened, because with this is a kind of grouping that I hadn't even conceived of, that you just like create a target and then you point at it. So um, target code should be replaced by future grouping code. So like in the future, I want to be able to take like a light and attach it to a group it to a mesh, or two different kinds of meshes, or two meshes together, or something like that. I want to be able to do grouping, and this targeting is also should be part of that more general grouping concept. But I did that this way because I don't want to deal with that grouping until the MVC, um, just because it's going to be a lot of work, and clearly I don't really understand grouping that well. Um, so I think that should be fine. And I think this code should never find itself um, into the it shouldn't ever find its way into what am I trying to say? It should never find its way into the service. This and none of the code inside of here, like this code up here and this code down here, should find its way into the service. But and I'm not sure how to do that, because okay, okay, so okay, so let's just make sure that works. Sure, -2 long light, add light. We want to make this a spotlight. See if I can make the angle small point. Yeah, and then let's have it point up or to the right by one, and you can't see it, which that I think that makes sense. Mesh. Yeah. All right, so that makes sense. And okay, so this shouldn't matter, right? This code can come down here. And okay, so that should be fine. The order of those shouldn't matter. Okay, so I do want this to be part of the light service. I do not like it the way it is right now. Um, but it, okay, so technically I should be able to kind of, I should be able to copy all of this code. This is what, I think this is what got me in trouble last time. I should be able to copy all of that code into update Spotlight. But I can't attach a Spotlight. And then I should be able to, okay, all that code gets called over here. So I should be able to just remove this code. So basically all of that code I just removed gets executed in this over here. So all right, now we test again. So I don't know. If you've been watching for a while, you've seen in the past where like when I moved the mesh stuff over and I moved other things over, it went really smooth. It was just super easy. But this is going hard, and it's going hard, and it's taking a long time to test. And the reason it is because this code, this deep coupling, it's hard to like picture in your head everything that's going to happen. So then you have to do like extra testing and stuff like that. And this is kind of an indicator that I should have moved this service over. I should have moved this code over to service sooner. I waited too long, and now I'm paying the price for it. I do, and as I mentioned yesterday, I think if I had waited one or two more times around, I probably wouldn't even be able to. It wouldn't even be possible to move it. It would just be too. There'd be too much coupling in there to make it possible to even move it over. Okay, so that's a good sign. So then the question is, does this code here, can this code should be able to go, it shouldn't matter that if it's down here. You know, the order that that got executed in shouldn't matter, I don't think. So, um, but let's go ahead and do it right there. Okay, so basically moved all the light position stuff out of the ThreeJS service and into the light service. Add mesh, show edit form, -2. I think if this works, then we're out of the woods, I think. Basic, Fong, light, add light, and then let's just go ahead and just try to move the light. Okay. Yeah, so I think we're out of the woods. I think that okay, so this code here basically handles what happens if you change light types. And this is another reason why I'm having more problems that I haven't had in the past is whenever I would take like a mesh and I would change it from one kind of mesh like a sphere to a cube, I wouldn't have to create a new one and get a new light ID, but with this I do. So where are we now? I bet you this is long. Yeah, we're at 30 minutes. Um, so I will probably work on that tomorrow, um, figuring out exactly what the best way to deal with this is. I don't see anything in here that forces it. There's nothing going on in here that can't happen on that. So I think I'll probably just see the biggest problem for me right now is that this update light, okay, that's fine. This process and that needs a light. So this guy does. Oh, well, okay. So the problem is well, I don't even think that's a problem. I think what I need to do is call. Okay, if light. Okay, so in the light service, take this light out and I do that. Okay. It kind of seems like I need to do this. See, the thing is I need this new light to have been converted before this code gets called. But update the way I'm doing update light, I think update light needs the yeah, it needs the actual light to have already been updated. Yeah, it needs the spotlight to have been attached before. So um, I've got like this stuff needs to happen before this code runs, and this needs to happen before this code runs. So, um, but it doesn't always happen. So, yeah, I think what I need to do is make a special function in the light service that does this, that basically handles like convert light or something like that in the light service that does all this stuff. And then this gets called, and this is all garbage code that won't be around forever. We should be gone as soon as the grouping is done. And then this update light gets called. And okay, and nothing about this actually updates the light other than converting it. So yeah, that's going to be the next step, is to create like convert light function that gets called here. And then yeah, I mean the update light in the ThreeJS service is a little bigger than I would like, but it's you know I don't know. Basically, the problem is this code here. This Once this code can go away, once we don't worry about like grouping happens in some other way, and that code can go away, then this whole thing will be a lot cleaner. And it should be fine, because I don't really see a problem with saying uh, with handling the convert you know conversion, and then doing an update in two separate tasks. I think that's okay. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.